like you to hit the like button at the beginning, because every time you hit the like button, you are letting YouTube know that what you are seeing and hearing is edifying for you, so it can be shared with others. That's why hitting the like button is so important. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel.
It had to happen. Your title was so powerful. When I read the name of your ministry, it had to happen.
Let's welcome our host, Erica Wilson.
Great day, everyone. We're here live today with your girl, Erica Wilson, and it had to happen for our Motivational Mondays. And this is the NFL Mom Show, Mothers of Motivated Sons. But tonight we have a special guest that's in the house, and his name is Wayne Collins, and the topic is Against All Odds, right? Mr. Wayne, he's 44 years old, was raised in a single-parent home. Oh my God, y'all know I have a thing about single parents, but here we go. Spent 9 years in prison, grew up in the hood, made bad choices, and a high school dropout. But don't count him out. He beat all odds, and he is currently married with 5 kids, 2 grandchildren, and is now a motivational speaker. Rose.org. Come on now. And he's highly educated and a very great human being. So without further ado, let me introduce to some and present to others the Wayne Collins. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Okay, guys, please do bear with us. I'm not sure why you can't hear me. Wayne, you might want to go out and come back in. You can't hear me? Go out and come back in. Guys, please do bear with us. Thank you so much for tuning in here with us. That it had to happen for our NFL Mom Show. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight's topic is Against All Odds. And as I was saying, Mr. Wayne Collins served 9 years in prison, y'all. Raised in a single-parent home. High school dropped out, raised in the hood, made bad choices. But let me just go ahead and see, can we hear him now? Let me go ahead and bring on the Wayne Collins. He cannot hear me. Did you give access? I'm not sure why you can't hear me. Guys, please do bear with us. The devil is a liar.
I can hear you. I can hear you now.
All right. What did you do, Wayne?
I unplugged my microphone.
Okay, well, we have you here now. And thank you so much for joining us on tonight for a topic of Against All Odds. If you can, I told the audience a little bit about who Wayne is. If you want to go ahead and open up the floor and tell us all about who's Wayne Collins.
Wayne Collins, 44-year-old black male, raised by a teenage mother. My mother had 6 kids before she was 17 years old. Her first child was at 13. Left my mother. She was in an abusive relationship with my father. She took us to my grandmother's house around 3 or 4 years old. Didn't see her again until I was around 12 years old. Get a knock on the door, and she says, "Hey, I'm back. I want my kids back." We go to California, San Diego. Don't really know anyone. And while being in San Diego, I became affiliated with the Rolling 20 Crip gang. I was mad at my mother. Um, I think somewhere I hated her for leaving. And because even while we were staying with my grandmother, my uncle stayed there. We was a family that had so many people in the house. It was 2 bedroom, but 10 people stayed there. And it was a lot of abuse, not sexual, but I did see one of my sisters be sexually abused by a guy that my grandma was dating, and he was the breadwinner. My grandma didn't have a job. Yes. My grandma didn't have a job. He's the one who was the sole provider. There were times that my grandma would be gone and he would tell us, "Hey, come get $10, go to the store." And, back then, $10 was a lot, in the early 90s. And one day, something told me to go back. And when I went back, I didn't see my sister. I didn't see him because everybody was in the living room at first. And I looked down under the door. It was probably about this much of a gap. And I seen him on top of her. My sister, she's slow. She suffers from mental retardation. And I would see him on top of her every time he asked us to go to the store.
Jeez.
And yeah. And so when my mom came back and got us, I wasn't afraid anymore to tell because I didn't want us to be on the street, so I didn't tell. But I told my mom, and I didn't know my mom shared a similar story.
Jesus.
Yeah. So a lot of trauma, and go
Wait,
ahead.
I gotta take you back. I have to take you back because I don't know if I heard right, but I think that's what you said. Your mom had 6 kids by the time she was 17.
Correct.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So every year she had a set of twins, I think when she was 16. Yeah. The first one was 13, then 14, then 15. It went just like that.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is. Where do you fall in the line of the 6 children?
I'm in the middle. I'm the third child.
You're the third child.
Yes.
Okay. So now you see mom. Mom have 2 siblings before you, 2 children before you.
That's correct.
And you see mom with the 2 children. Well, not because you say you were taken out the home at what time and what age you was taken out the home?
Around 3 or 4.
Around 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I remember because I wasn't even in pre-K yet.
Whoa.
But I do remember what happened because I told the story once I got incarcerated. I remember she asked us what did we want from the store, and she said, "Write down your list," and we all wrote down our list what we wanted, gave it to her. That was her way of leaving, and we never saw her again for many years.
Oh my God. So now your 2 siblings is in the home with your grandmother. And then she have 3 more.
Correct. Well, the last one, which was my little sister, it was by another guy because after my father, she ends up getting in another relationship with another guy, and he was abusive, and so she ends up leaving with the baby. And she promised that she would come back to my grandma. And I think at the time, now that I look back at it, she was only a teenager. She probably didn't know what to do. And she left, and like I said, she never came back. And back then we didn't have the technology that we have now where we're able to call, FaceTime. It was none of that. So the only thing we had was pictures, but my grandma, we call her mama. We never called her grandma. My mom, to this day, I call her by her first name.
Wow.
And my father. Yeah.
So your father is still in the picture?
I don't know what picture, but he's around.
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
I'm
He,
glad that you could make some oh gosh, hot flash. I'm glad that you could really make a joke out of this, because the
yes.
thing about it is a lot of times when people deal with things like this, it kind of hinder them.
Right.
And then
Well,
they kind of
it
do.
did. It most definitely, excuse me, it did hinder me. What you're seeing now is the vase being touched by God.
Mhm.
This is not me 10 years ago. This is therapy. This is trusting God. This is talking with kids. This is uh, trying to get it, trying to understand. Yeah.
But what I'm
Mhm.
saying is like now, I see the now because we're gonna go back and we're gonna relive the then. But right
Okay.
now, to see the strong person that you are, and I love what you said. This is therapy. This is God. Basically,
Right.
you're all the tools that you use. The number one tool was God. Uh,
Correct.
but the thing is, all the tools that was used to get you to where you are now. So
Right.
you're a young, you're a third child.
Hmm.
Mom is a basically young single mom, or not single mom, sorry, a young teen mom,
Correct.
and she have all of these kids. You think about it, she didn't get a chance to grow herself,
Correct.
but it was a child basically raising children,
Correct.
per se. But thank God, thank be unto God that her mom was there to take you guys in, because like
Right.
you said, you could have been on the street.
Could have.
However, as a child, I don't understand that. I want to be with my mom and
Right.
my dad. So as a
Exactly.
child, I just don't get that. So
Hmm.
take us back to where mom, you guys wrote the note. That was mom's way of leaving by saying she was
Correct.
going to the store. Now
Mhm.
you at grandma's house.
Yes. So being at grandma's house, my grandma at the time, she went through a we went through a struggling moment. Those moments when we were eating syrup sandwiches, eating mayonnaise sandwiches. Like I said, she was trying to provide and look out for all of us because we didn't. It wasn't like we was getting food stamps or anything like that. I'm not sure why we wasn't. Well, then my grandma, she started selling drugs, and so once she started selling drugs, we would be the ones to give the syringes to the people that do heroin or whatever drugs they did. Yeah. So when they would come to the door, sometimes my grandma would call the house phone and she would say, "Hey, so and so is coming. Give them go into my bed and get 5 syringes." Because at the time she was a diabetic, but we didn't understand that we was young. So they used to give up. Back then they used to get them boxes of syringes, and she would sell hers while still selling drugs. And so it was kind of like a 2-for-1 kind of situation. And so we would go and get the syringes, and they'll give us the money, and she'll tell us where to hide the money, and that's what we did. That was normal for us.
Jesus. So this is how old are the kids at this time?
Um, at this time, I'm probably in the first grade.
What?
Yeah, I'm probably in the
Oh
first by then.
God. Oh God. I done got hot now for real. Okay.
Yeah,
Jesus. Wow. You with grandma. Grandma started doing these things,
mhm,
and including you guys in this. So
correct.
now is your escape is when you go to school?
It didn't feel like an escape. It felt normal. Like you don't, because there's nothing to compare it to. We're in the ghetto. It's like people in the projects go to the same school. So it wasn't like we saw something different. It wasn't like we had comparisons. It wasn't like, oh, down the street, look at all these beautiful homes and look at these kids wearing all these nice clothes. Our where we stayed, like literally maybe a quarter, half a, maybe not even a mile. The school was right there. We used to walk to school, and so we saw the same thing that everybody else saw. So that
Mm.
was our life. I didn't
So
even know it was wrong until many years ago.
wow. So you
Yeah.
never saw like, sometimes you have kids that's in school that actually come from another area or whatever. So you never saw the kids who came with nice clothing, probably had loving families that showed up at the school.
No,
No?
everybody broken. it,
Jesus.
it was normal. Like I said, even not having a father around, um, it just, you didn't see it. It wasn't visible. And if they did have on nice clothes, we were not, it wasn't in us to be like jealous, like, oh my God, they got all the good stuff. Like,
Right.
I guess we didn't think about it. We just kind of like, oh, okay, that's what they got. We don't got it. But I recall they had a Christmas situation at the school. I think I was at this time, I'm like in the second or third. And they said, for anybody, for Christmas, you get whatever you want for Christmas. You gotta, but there's only gonna be one winner out of the whole school, and whoever wins, Santa will give you all these things. And I remember everybody like super excited, and I said I only wanted paper, markers, pencils, something I can draw with, and one toy. And of course, I won, right? I'm in class, and they knock, and they says, "Ho ho ho!" It's big guy's supposed to be Santa. Gives me this big bag, and it's like, "Hey, you won!" So everybody's like excited, but they don't know what's in the bag. I don't even want to open it because I'm embarrassed. Because I'll ask for some paper, markers. Knowing them, they probably got it from the staff room. Who knows? Now that I look at it, and
Yeah.
so I went home, and I was just excited to say that I won. I wasn't thinking about what was in there. And then when I open everything, I see a bunch of paper, packs of paper. That's when it used to be in a plastic. You could rip
Yeah.
it and pull out your notebook paper and pencils. And I had one game. It was made like a soap dish box. It was like a blue box, and it had two little men in there. But it was a thing that if you press it, it makes them like twirl like they're fighting. And I remember getting it, and I was like, okay with that, right? It was life. Like, look what I got.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's just blowing me that only one person out of big huge school wins, and how ironic that you won. And not just you won, but you got the things that you asked for. And the
Right.
thing is, you said that this is what you asked for, but you was too embarrassed to open it because
Right.
of, and it's so funny how that happens in our adult life, like
Right.
things that we pray for and God blesses us with it, but then we're looking at God like, for real, God, this is what
Right.
you asked for. This is
Right.
what you asked for.
Exactly.
So now you're the winner of this Christmas contest,
Correct.
and now the other three siblings come along. How long after? Well, it was happening, you said, every year.
Yeah, but at this time it's all of us are staying together.
Okay.
Everybody but my little sister, she's gone. Everybody's there at my grandma's house. All of us. So my mom has 6 kids. 5 of us was there. No. 4 of us was there. The twins, when my mom was pregnant with them, my grandmother didn't even know that my mom was pregnant with twins. My grandma didn't know what was going on. Because I guess my mom was like going all around, staying with different people. And so my mom ended up going back to my grandma's house, and she was like, what's going on? And she was like, I heard that she had 2 kids, but she only came home with 1. And my mom said, well, I left the other one there because she's sick or something wrong with her. My grandma go back to get her. She was already adopted. They already had put her for adoption.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She had twins.
Correct.
Left the hospital with only 1 because 1 she saw that, well, she knew that something was wrong with.
Right.
But by the time she reached your grandmother's home, it was too late.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
go ahead.
So at this time, it's only 4 of us. The baby sister's gone. My mom is just my older sister, who my mom had at 13, and my second sister, who is then me, and then my other twin. The twin of the girl that got left at the hospital.
So this is not the mentally challenged one, right? The
She's the
twin?
oldest.
Oh,
The mental challenge one is the oldest one.
oh, she's the old. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So now it's four of you guys, four of you all there, you and your siblings with your grandmother.
Mhm.
And here it is. When mom came back, is that the time when she came back for good to get you guys? Or she just peeped in and peeped out?
CPS got involved. My grandma had jumped on us, jumped on me and my sister. We had got a little older now. Now my grandma, we have at this time we've kind of moved from the projects, and now we're standing in different projects. My grandma is no longer selling drugs, so money is tight. And I remember she had $20, and she says, "Hey," and she tells my sister, "Do not lose this money. Do not lose this money." And I was telling my grandma, "I don't want to go to the store with her. I feel like she's gonna lose it." And my grandma was like, "No, you need to go with it. That's your sister." As we were going to the store, this guy on a bike named Ray Ray pulls up, and Ray and my sister had a crush on Ray Ray. But whatever happened from the time he pulled up on a bike till we got to the store, the money was gone. And she was panicking. I was panicking. I'm like, we looking everywhere for it. And so because it was gone for so long, by the time we got around the corner, my grandma was already at the screen door looking out. Like she see we didn't have nothing, no bags, no nothing. She was like, and that's all she had. That was the last 20 to last us for like a week. And we didn't my sister lost it. And so I'm telling my grandma, hey, she lost it. And my grandma was like, I'm whooping both of y'all. And so, we're afraid, we had already got whooping. So we knew we would get a whooping, but we didn't know that it was going to be to this, uh,
Extend.
to this extent. And so, let me see who goes up first. My sister, she goes up first, and my grandma go to grab her. She goes under my grandma, and of course, I'm right there. And I tried to run too, and I slip and I fall. Once I slip and fall back, the screen door, it catches my knuckles. So I'm trying to pull my hand from under the door, but my
Mm.
hands are caught. And so once I'm trying to get from under it, she just got on top of me and just like punched me like about 5 or 6 times in the face.
Wow.
And then yeah. So once once she did that, she apologized. She said, hey, I'm sorry, by then, we got bruises, and we wasn't supposed to go to school, but I convinced her to let me go. And I told her that I would lie until I fail if she let me go.
Mm.
And so when she let me go, I had a teacher named Miss Daly. Miss Daly, I was acting weird because I wanted them to ask me what was wrong. I wanted them to take me out of this house, but I didn't want to tell. I just wanted them to just give me a white family. I felt
Mm.
like white people look better than us from what we used to see on TV. You watching Silver Spoon and Married with Children and Vicky and the Wonder Years, and it's like, man, these people really live way better than us. So I wanted their life. So I wanted to go be with a white family, and I felt like that was my way out. And so um, Miss Daly calls me and she says, hey, what happened to you? And I'm like, oh, I fell. But I knew she would question it. And she was like, fell on what? I'm like, oh, I was climbing a tree and I just made up some quick story. And she says, hey, I'm gonna send you to the principal's office. They sent
Mm.
me to the principal's office. They look at my face, they look at my body, they made me take my shirt off. Next thing I know, CPS is at the school. They asked what happened. I told them. My sister, they pulled up from the class. They checked her body. Um, they said, hey, they took me. They didn't take her because she didn't get hit because she ducked. And so they took me, and I'm like excited, like, oh my God, I'm finally gonna be free. And then some kind of way, um, everybody convinced them to let me go back, because whatever they said when CPS came, CPS bought into it. And so they ended up bringing me back like a week later, maybe 2 weeks, and they gave me a card, and they basically said, "Hey, if you go through any more abuse, like give us a call." And so I got the card, and I did
Wait,
it. Yeah,
even though they saw the visible abuse, like they can see the marks,
correct.
they send you back into the home?
They did. My grandma, I believe that she just told them that she was stressed out because she didn't have any money. Whatever she told them, it worked. You know, she was just basically saying that, hey, their mom left me with them, which she did. She's like, I don't even know where she's at, and I've been really going through it. And so the people say, okay, well, I guess that's when they went on a rampage to look for my mom, and they end up finding her
Wow.
the next year.
So did she have any of her kids with her at that time?
Who, my mom?
Yeah,
Just the baby.
just a baby girl.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Whoa. So now you're in school.
Right.
You're removed out of the home,
Right.
but then placed back into the home because whatever story grandma told the CPS, they put
Correct.
you back into the home.
Correct.
Moving forward. So now we're gonna go into, when did grandpa come along? Was he staying in the house the whole time?
Uh, kind of sort of. 1 second. Hold on. Because
Sorry.
I was gonna use my tablet at first to do this, but um, it was taking too long to charge.
It's okay.
So Grandpa comes into play. Oh man, after the abuse, he came after the abuse. Um, Again, remember I told you my grandma was suffering, like she didn't
Yeah.
have any money, and I felt like he was
Use it to his advantage.
opportunist. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was one of my opportunities. He probably seen like the girls and was like, "Oh my god, I got one." Who knows? So he ends up coming. Sorry. So he ends up coming over. Hold on, let me do this. I'm sorry. It's
Guys,
not.
please be there with us. He's getting in position.
I'm I'm sorry. It's okay. Why is it telling me that? Hold on. Sorry. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. I had to end up plugging like this. And so Grandpa, he comes around, and then like once he came around, um, he helped us out a lot. Like we was finally eating like
Wow.
good. Uh, we got new furniture. So you remember when I used to walk around and sell you encyclopedias? Like,
Yes. Lord have
so,
mercy.
okay, so we end up getting all these encyclopedias. So we're like really really happy. We're like, oh my god, we made it. So how could I tell and lose all that?
See, for people that's tuning in that don't know, I'm going to go back to that. We're here tonight with Wayne Collins, guys, against all odds. And if you're just tuning in, man, do he have a story. God, where do I start, Wayne?
I don't know.
Is He was raised by a mother. By the time at 17 years old, she already had six kids.
6. Mm-hmm.
Six kids by the age of 17, which he was ended up being the third child out of the six.
Right.
Removed out of the home, mom left the home, took them to their grandmother, and their grandmother raised them. However, doing all of this, Wayne was experiencing so much trauma.
Mm,
And this particular time, one of his sisters was molested by the grandfather, which Wayne saw this.
correct.
Okay. So when you first saw it, as a boy at that time, it didn't make you want to raise up at him for hurting your sister, or you just was like, it's normal.
I was thinking, why is he doing that? At the time, we don't know to call it what it is. Like, we don't know what to call it because that's not something that we ever seen. I never seen that before.
Right.
I knew it was wrong. I just didn't know what to call it. At the time, he was a construction worker, and I remember he used to get paid every Friday, and we would, because we didn't have money, me and my siblings, we would sneak on the floor because he'd be really drunk, and we'll take like $20 out of his pocket, like for real, because we wanted to eat what the other kids were eating. Like at school, we wanted to buy snacks. We wanted to, and back then, $20 lasted pretty good while. And so every day we'll just spend $1, and so I think it was the things that we was able to benefit off
Okay.
of it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I'm the only one that knows. I haven't even told my sister yet, which is the second oldest. I end up telling her one day, and I told her, "Hey, look, we're gonna act like we're going to the store, but we're gonna come back, and I want you to look under the door." And she did, and she saw it. Same thing I saw, and she was like, "What are we gonna do?" I'm like, "I don't know." And so we didn't do anything.
So your sister that was being abused,
Mm-hmm.
she really couldn't even help herself because you said that she was mentally
Yes, she was slow. So she probably didn't even, like, even to this day, like, she can talk, like, she can understand, but
yeah.
you can tell when someone is not comprehending. Um, so what I found out a couple of days ago,
Jesus.
because the math just wasn't mathing, I found out, and I still haven't shared this with my mom, that my uncle, which is her brother, is my sister's dad.
What wait. Your mother's brother
Yes.
is sister's dad.
Hmm. Yeah.
Jeez.
I just found this out Saturday.
Oh,
Well, I kind of already knew because it just wasn't adding up, and I kept hearing all these different stories. It's a lot of families with secrets,
mm-hmm.
and what I did, I just pieced everybody's conversation, and I tried to convince my mom to let her do the thing where you spit in the tube and it tells you who your father or your family is. And my mom was like, "No, I don't want to do it." And I didn't understand why. I'm like, this is a chance to find out who is this man Antoine that you've been talking about since we were little. And my sister, she would say, "Oh, my dad named Antoine," but Antoine didn't exist. Antoine was Terry, who was my uncle.
So this can be why
Correct.
she's the way she
Correct.
incest.
Correct.
My God, my God, my God. But your mother at the time when she had this child was only 13 years old.
Correct.
So that's God.
So she went to talk. So at the time, from what my mom told me, now she told me everything but the child situation. She said that she went to my grandma and said, "Hey, he's touching on me." Like, and my grandma did nothing about it. And so my grandma was like telling him, "Leave her alone, stay out of the room with her." And I
Jeez.
guess from that, because you remember she was pregnant at 12 and she had her at 13.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So who else was around? Like, who else? Like,
Jesus. Wait. So although your mom, she told grandmother, her mom what was going on, mom just basically kind of brushed it off. Because a lot of times too in our community, it's whatever happened in this house stays in this house. And I
correct,
heard you say something too about a lot of families with secrets.
correct,
It is, however, I think that seeing you now, out of everything that you experienced and being able to sit here and speak about it, even you're just finding out something that you already knew
Right.
just a couple of days ago, and to be this calm about it. It says it's nobody but God, right?
That's it.
So now you're seeing your sister, your older sister is seeing your sister being abused,
Mhm.
and she's being abused again by what? Not I don't know if this your blood grandfather, but again, he was ex grandpa. So now another family member is being abused by a family member.
Correct. Well, this same uncle that was abusing my mom,
Uh-huh.
he abused my sisters.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. Wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Even though mom hadn't already made grandma aware of what was happening to her,
Correct.
now I have siblings, which are sisters, which are
Right.
girls, right?
Right. Hmm.
Mom already have a child by her brother.
Correct.
And I'm gonna tell you one thing about it, and two things for sure. A mother know when her child bear a child, and
Right.
after seeing that child. So
Correct.
I'm quite sure grandmom saw some of the resemblance, you know.
Yeah.
However, but not really said, wanting to deal with it at a time. Now
Correct.
you guys are in this home, and now your sisters is up under the same attack as mom was.
Correct. But my mom, even though he did that to her, some kind of way, my mom ended back staying with my grandma. Because at this time, we're like, this is right before she leaves. Because I remember being outside. Remember they had big wheels back then. I'm on a big wheel, and I remember the police pulling up like a lot, and seeing my sisters come out with a towel on. I did not know that he had did that to them until Saturday. I called my sister to tell her about what I found out with my mom, and she says, "Well, it happened to us too." She
Oh,
like, I had to go to court and everything. I'm like, see, I didn't know that because I was so young when it happened.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Whew. I done got hot again. Whew.
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
So now, mm, you took us through the journey. You took us
Right,
through the pain because that's deep. That's very,
right.
very deep. That is like generational curses just going on and on and on and on, right?
Of
So
course.
now you become an adult. And you said the area that you moved in, you joined the gang, which is a well-known gang if you're up in California, right?
Correct, correct.
You
And
thought by joining this gang, like this is the love that I've been searching for, basically,
yes and
of a
no.
brotherhood.
I wanted to be accepted. Right. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted somewhere to put this anger,
Wow.
and so I became affiliated, and I stayed affiliated for a long time.
Wow, Wayne. Hold
Yeah.
on. So how old were you when you first joined?
The
Um,
game. I was probably 13.
whew,
Yeah, 13, 14, one of the two.
and oh, Jesus. But again, like you said, you hadn't experienced all of this. So you just wanted somewhere. I just want to be accepted. I want to kind of like not just be accepted, but I need to find somewhere where I could just let out all this pain, all this anger.
Correct.
I knew I couldn't do it at home with my family, you
Right.
know.
Hmm.
I mean, what we know to be true is hurt people actually hurt people.
They do.
So now you're 13, 14 years old. You join this gang.
Yes. And now I'm affiliated, and but my mom is scared for my life, and my mom, she's like, "Hey, I can't let you die out here." My mom, she was dating guys that were OGs in the game. And so, you're seeing this all day. You come in the house, blue rags everywhere. This is the lifestyle for my mom. And so, I mean, I picked up what I saw. And so my mom decided to send me to Dallas because she says, hey, like, at this time I'm getting in trouble. I'm fighting teachers. I broke the teacher hand. Like, I cannot stay out of trouble. And she's like, and no matter what she tried to do, because she tried to love me, but she didn't know how to, so she tried to buy my love. She would try to take me places. She was trying to catch up to something that wasn't there. And she don't know, the more she did for me, the more I hated her. The more I felt like you messed up my life so bad that everything that I do, I'm going to take it out on you. And there was a time that her and I got in a fight. And I don't often tell this story, but it just goes to show you how you can hate somebody so much. So at this time, we moved with her, and her and my sister were fighting. Like, this is the second oldest. They were fighting like cats and dogs. I'm at a friend's house in apartments, and I hear my sister screaming like loud. And so somebody said, "That's your sister. Just coming from your house," because the window was open. And I run in the house, and she got my sister by the hair. And so I jump on her back, and I'm like telling her, like, let her go, And so my mom finally let her go, and then, because me and my sister are very close. And I'm like, you okay? Talking to her. So then she said, so when I turned around, my mom had an iron. And she was like jumping us with the iron. It was hot. And so when she did it like the third time, I picked up a screwdriver. And I told her that if she bars at us again with the iron, I'm gonna use it. And I did. She ran to us with the iron. I was able to knock the iron out of her hand. She kind of like bent down, and then I stabbed her in the back with the screwdriver.
Wait.
All the way? It didn't go all the way. It just pierced her, And she screamed, and she told me, hey, you gotta go. You gotta get out. I can't believe you did this to me. And I didn't know where to go. And so, yeah.
Wait. So now mom is basically having an altercation with your sister. You come in on it. Mom threatened you guys with the iron, and here it is. Now you have the screwdriver in your hand, and you telling her, like, Mom, if you do this again, then I'm gonna be forced to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
However, you did go through with it, but thanks be unto God that it didn't go through.
Yeah, but that's only because she had already jumped on us several times. Like, she wasn't nice. Like, I think she was, now that I'm older, I think she was just stressed out. Like, all of a sudden, you got all these kids back with you all of a sudden, and it's like, I gotta be a mom. Like, and I think it was just too much to handle. We were too much to handle. We had already had resentment. The love was gone, and we just
I don't
didn't
think
get
it
it.
was gone. I think it needed to be found.
That's what, okay, I'll say that. It needed to be found based on, we wanted her to say, I love you guys, and I'm sorry that I left you. I left you for this reason. She never, to this day, ever said anything about it.
But you said too in the beginning of the show, though, basically she was not making any excuses.
Oh,
Now,
no, I'm not.
But you said, and we both said that basically she was a kid raising kids. Like, first of all, she had some trauma that transpired by her own brother, being molested by her own brother, not
Correct.
just being molested by her own brother, but bearing a child from her brother. So now I have to look at this child, and every time I look at this child, guess what I'm going to think about?
Right. It's embarrassment at this time.
Not just embarrassment, but hurt, the I mean, just so many different things that could be going through her mind. But
Right.
who knows how many times that this actually transpired. So
Correct.
now I'm 12, I'm pregnant at 12 years old.
Right.
Not just I'm pregnant at 12 years old, but I'm pregnant by my brother.
Yeah.
You know, someone that's supposed to protect me. You see what
Correct.
I'm saying? So
Mhm.
now 12, I have the baby at 13. I'm sure that they can tell that the baby had some disabilities,
Correct.
you know, from the incest, right? So
Correct.
now here it is. Come on, Wayne, I'm pregnant.
I
I'm
know.
pregnant again with another child,
I
and
know.
every year thereafter. You
Right.
see? So
Hmm.
not just that. Here it is. I had twins. I had a set of twins, but
Correct.
one. So it was just so much in her head that she was dealing with. Not saying that it's right now, but
No.
just
No. No.
so much in her head. I never got a chance to be a child because guess what? I was a child raising children.
Correct.
Tried to, basically, right?
Right.
So now I have to break away because it's starting to begin to be too much.
Correct.
But as a child, I don't understand the trauma you're going through, Mom.
Right.
Like, you brought me into this world. I think that you're supposed to be taking care of me. You're supposed to be loving me. You're supposed to be hugging me. You're supposed to tell me it's okay when I cry or things like that. But she's not there to do it.
No.
Resentment grows.
It grows.
Now
And
in the gang.
right. So I mean, so now that I'm living this lifestyle, uh, one day I was a runaway. I didn't go to school. Um, so one day I get involved with older women. I found myself at 16 dating women 50, and or older. And at this time, I met this woman that was, well, I was dating her daughter first, and
Wait.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Come on. Go ahead.
So I was dating her daughter, and but I was a runaway. But I was a runaway that had a lot of money because I was hustling. And one day, while the daughter was at school, the mom, at the time I had long hair, so she said that she wanted to braid it. And so she took a shower and just had on a towel, and she let me sit between her legs, and she braided my hair. And then she told me how much she liked me and how we would be good together. And so,
Your girlfriend's mom.
yeah. And so I started dating both of them. I date the mom at night, the daughter in the day.
Lord have mercy.
It
Lord have mercy, Jesus.
happened.
Oh, God. Hold on. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, God.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you're here being transparent.
I
But
have to.
y'all please do bear with me because these blows coming and they knocking they getting here. So now you're dating mom and daughter. Like you say, you're dating daughter in the daytime, mom
Right.
at night. Lord have mercy, Jesus.
So mom finds out. So mom comes to her house and confronted her. Like my son's a kid, but she was like, so
Your mom.
yeah, my mom.
Okay.
Because remember, I'm not going to school. I'm at this lady house.
You
And
see what my
so
sister said? My sister said, wow. Me.
so basically, okay, so this what happened. The lady that stayed downstairs, it was a woman that stayed upstairs. She was a friend of my mom. My mom my mom wanted me to stay at her house because she had a son that played football. So my mom wanted to put me around
Positive.
an, another boy, somebody that was doing well by their son. And so that's how I meet the girl downstairs. And so the lady tells my mom, "Hey, I think he's dealing with this woman." So my mom comes over and she say how she feel, But of course, I denied it in front of my mom. I'm like, nah, I go with her daughter. I don't know why she being messy, but my mom went crazy. And so after that, I keep dealing with this woman. Well, the woman ends up in a relationship with this guy from New York. And one day I spend the night and they are in a room and I go in the room.
Is this how you land in prison?
Mm-mm. I landed in prison for robbery. I went to prison a couple years later, but I'm going to tell you how all the violence started getting worse. So she wakes up in the morning. She's like, "Oh, somebody was touching me. Oh, and it made me feel like a woman." And he was like, "I didn't touch you." That's what he's saying. It wasn't me. I didn't touch you. And so she was like, "It was somebody. And he gets, he like, "It must be you. It must was you." And I'm like, "Nah, it wasn't me." But she kept implying it. She wanted him to know it was me. Anyway, they end up getting closer and closer together. Um, One day he got very drunk and he wanted to fight me. Remember, I'm 16. He was like 25, maybe 26, and I came from somewhere. I don't know where I was coming from, and he was like, he wanted to fight me, but I was like, I'm not gonna fight you, because he was older. I was kind of afraid a little bit, but I used to always keep this butcher knife in my side pocket. And dude, he swung on me. He was getting the best of me. Before I knew it, I took the knife and I went from one end to the other end. And so
Wait,
once
wait, wait. Went from what end to what end?
I stuck it through his head because he jumped on me behind this woman because he was like, "You guys are messing around behind my back." And once I did that, my uncles found the lady upstairs. Remember, she was my mom's friend. She calls and all my family comes over. My uncles, they're trying to find me, but I'm hiding. They're not trying to find me to hurt me. They want to get me away from the situation. And so
Yes.
the guy that I did that to, he had to go to the hospital. My mom like, "Yo, you got to get out of here. Like, this is getting ridiculous." So that's when my mom ended up sending me to Dallas.
So hold on. You escaped stabbing somebody in the head?
I did.
Did he live?
Hmm. He tried to. How I know he lived because about a week later, maybe I tried to sneak back over to the lady's house, and even though my family warned me not to go back around, luckily they was following me that day, my uncles. And when I went to the woman's house, she was telling me like, "I think it's not good for you to come over anymore. Like, your family is threatening me, saying they're gonna do something to me." When I get ready to leave out, he's wrapped in bandages. You see the blood on both sides, and he has on a hoodie, like it's kind of like sideways. And he was like, "You thought you was gonna make it, huh?" My uncles come out of nowhere, like they big. They was like, "What you doing?" So they told me get in the car, and my mom like, "I can't do it. You're too much. I can't do this."
Listen, Wayne. Yeah, you too much.
Yeah.
You too much. Wait, hold on.
Yes.
So this guy goes to the hospital with a stab wound in his head, and they
Hmm.
don't question him.
No, because he was a gang member out of New York, so he wanted to get me.
Okay,
He wanted his lick back.
got you. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So now mom wants to send you to Dallas.
Yeah. She did. She said, "Hey, you got to go."
Okay, so now
So
you're
I,
headed up to Dallas.
so I go to Dallas and I stay with my great aunt, who I look at as a mom now. I call her mom. I don't call her auntie no more because she really helped me a lot. She had her own house. She had one child. It was a life that I always wanted with the white family, but I got it with the black family.
Black family. Mm,
But because I was so messed up, it's almost like putting the wrong thing in the right place.
wow.
it ain't gonna go right. All right.
So, how did you escape being, what is it? What was it again? The OG? Is it?
I was rolling 20 script.
Oh, Rolling. Okay. How did you escape?
I never escaped it. I took it to Dallas. So now I got people in Dallas. I put them down.
Uh huh.
So
Okay. So this how the prison sentence came about.
no. So I put them. I put them down, and so that next year, I went to a church called Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship. Dr. Tony Evans, and I felt like he was talking to
Wait,
me.
Tony Evans?
Yes.
Love him. Okay,
This
go ahead.
this this is before this when he was only in the school. He wasn't even who he is now.
Okay.
And I felt like God was talking to me. Like
Mm.
he was talking about something, like being going through things, and I'm just like, maybe I should change my life. So I went up there and I said I wanted to be saved,
Mm.
and I got worse. So I went up there. I went up there and got saved, and was like, mm-mm. Because I didn't understand the wiles of the enemy. I didn't understand temptation because I didn't have a teacher. See, a lot of us are getting saved, but we don't have teachers. We don't have
Come on.
anybody instructing us on
Come on.
what to do when you're dealing with A, B, and C. And because I was so young, I wish somebody young would have said, hey, look, when I'm 16, 17, I wish somebody that was 25 said, hey, I've been where you've been. Hey, look, this is how you can do
Mm.
it. None of that. I had none of that. And so
Whew.
it's almost like
Mm.
giving somebody that don't know how to drive a brand new car and telling them be careful.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to hurt somebody because you don't even know what to do. And
My
so,
God, my God. I knew you would come in. I knew you would come in, Shani. Oh, that's
yeah,
good. We're her and I, we were just having a conversation about people that was, been through some things, speaking
right.
to people that,
Correct.
maybe get ready to go through it or trying to avoid them from going through it. Yeah,
Of
we
course.
just talked about that earlier. That's what I'm telling
Yeah.
you. This is all God. I love the way how God orchestrates some things. I
Of course.
love it, love it, love it, love it. That's right. Come on, God.
Of
But see,
course.
is even though see, this is, I'm glad you're here and you being very, very, very transparent, to the point to sometimes you catching me and it putting a knot in my throat hearing some of
Right.
the things I'm hearing. But now you give your life to Christ, you trying it, not really
Right.
understanding what you're about to walk in,
I know
because
nothing.
people think, yeah, when you give your life over to Christ, that you're just supposed to walk this chalk line, right?
Correct.
But it's a transition that takes place. Yes, he could deliver us from some things right away. Yes, he could do a work in us.
Of course.
However, we got to know that the enemy is trying to come in and steal, kill, and destroy.
Of
Now,
course.
this man done been through some trauma. He's a product of a mother that's, a teen mom that
Hmm.
had 6 kids by the time she was 17 years old,
Right.
had a kid from her mom, from her brother, going through all of this. I can't just let God have him like that.
Correct.
I have to keep my hand on him and try to keep distracting him, because I
Correct.
know probably what he's capable of. And now you're here and you're
Right.
able to share your story to help somebody else out. So now you
Correct.
say it get worse. So now
Yeah.
I end up robbing.
Right. So now it gets worse because now I'm promiscuous. I'm having sex with like multiple women, trying to fill some kind of void. I don't know. I something is wrong, and I feel like only a woman could feel it. And I mean, by going through that, I hurt so many women in relationships.
Mm,
I was like, if you, it was almost like you had to treat me like a baby. You had to love on me, care for me, and if you didn't, I felt abandoned, and then I instantly just left you for someone else because I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know what was this feeling I was feeling. And so I thought, well, I'll just find somebody better. And so throughout my whole life, I always ran jobs, people, women. I'm like, I can always get better. And so while trying to figure this out, God calls me to the ministry. And people
Wait,
say,
before you go to prison?
this before I go to prison. It's as a youth. God is calling me. And people say, well, how do you know? I said, because this is the exact thing I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be no minister. What? I'm trying to catch some biters out here. I ain't trying to be nobody minister. And so now it is, I'm trying to get in ministry. And now I'm hanging around ministers, but we're having sex with different women. I'm still living the same lifestyle. So I was thinking, well, it's the same thing. What was in the street was in the church.
See, and that's the problem that we have.
Yeah,
That's the problem that we have with Christians.
of course.
And again, I'm gonna give it to you blood raw because that's all I know how to do.
Come on.
The thing about it is, it's far too often that we always looking at what the other person is doing,
Correct.
where our salvation is at stake here, right?
Correct.
However, when you go around and you surround yourself with these people,
Correct.
yes, you want to watch, what they got going on, because again, you don't want that to taunt who you are. And if you're not strong enough to handle the things that's going on around you, either you have to remove yourself from them
Correct.
or God is going to do it. You
Correct.
understand? So now you're around all of these ministers, even though that enemy, he knew that he had to keep, I'm telling you, he had to keep distracting you. So now
Yeah.
you're hanging around the ministers. The ministers are still acting worldly around you. You don't know, you wasn't strong enough per se to remove yourself from the situation. So man, they doing what I'm doing, so I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna stick with it.
Well, I didn't think that was wrong. I thought this is what they do. Again, there's no guidance. There's no nothing. It's just like, hey, I thought being saved was being a nice person. I thought if I just turned and be a nice person, that I was saved, because that's what I would hear people say. So,
But think though, Wayne, if you were being with different women, so you
I
were
know,
hurting somebody in the process. So
yeah, but you can hurt somebody so much that you don't think it's hurt no more. You think they're hurting you. You think that you have to understand, you can do something for so long that it feels normal.
that's
You
right.
think that this is
Think it's
life,
right. Yeah.
And again, you can have a class full of students, but if the teacher um, is not wise, intelligent, then they'll act just like them.
That's what I'm saying. Like the people that you're around,
Of course.
you see
So
what I'm saying? You wasn't strong enough to know, or like you said, was no guidance before.
it
Okay.
wasn't.
So
It
now
wasn't
this is something new to you.
correct.
We'll have to bring you back for a part two, because I'm telling you, we at 7:00, but I definitely
Yeah.
want to get to how you end up in prison.
Oh yeah, that's another story. Yeah, that's another story. But God,
But God. So how many years did you do in prison?
9,
You did 9 years in prison for
9
robbery.
on 15, from 1999 to 2008.
Wow.
I was in prison. I went to prison with no education. I came out with a GED, college, CDL, numerous of trades, and the biggest out of all that, I came out knowing who I was.
Come on. Ah,
Yeah,
hallelujah.
but you can take
That's
all
what
of
I'm talking
it.
about. See, I had
Yeah,
to get to that part, because
yeah,
all about
yeah.
it had to happen is my journey, my pain that birthed my purpose. So
It
I was
is.
trying to get to that. So, guys, if
Yeah,
you're just tuning in, I have Mr. Wayne Collins here against all odds. Let me tell you what his odds was. First of all, he was God did that. Yes, he did.
yeah,
He did that. Yes,
yeah,
he
and
did.
still doing it.
There you go. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you, Jesus. So
yeah.
here it is. Just a recap, really quick, guys. And if you're just tuning in, Mr. Wayne Collins here beat all odds, y'all. He had all odds against him. He was what? Son of a mother of
Six.
five siblings.
Yes.
Okay, so
6
she had
kids.
six kids by the
Yeah.
time she was 17 years old. Being
Correct.
pregnant, the first pregnancy was from her brother. She birthed a child from her brother.
Hmm.
However, Wayne end up in the home with his grandmother.
Correct.
By being in the home with his grandmother, he experienced some abuse. He
Right.
saw his siblings get it, or one of his siblings who really couldn't help herself. She
Right.
was being sexually abused.
Correct.
Okay. Now he joined this gang. So now he wants somewhere to get all of his anger out. He wanted to be accepted. So
Correct.
now he's what is it called
A
again?
crip, a rolling 20s crip.
Okay, rolling 20s crip. Okay,
Correct.
so he becomes a gang affiliated, right? He
Correct.
saw this all around his mother when mom came back. Mom left them first of all with her mom.
Right.
Went to the store one day, never came back until
Correct.
years later. So now moving forward, Wayne decides that, okay, I want to get involved with this girl. This
Correct.
girl have this hot mom. So
Right.
now I'm having the girl in the daytime and I'm having mom at night.
Correct.
Then mom has another gang member to move in,
Mm-hmm.
which is the girl mom, not his mom, but
Correct.
the girl mom has someone from New York come on in, and he's in a gang as well. But
Correct.
however, he finds out Wayne and him is sharing the same woman.
Correct.
Ends up something happening. Wayne end up stabbing him.
Correct.
Now, mom says you got to go. His mom saying you got to go. Sent him to Dallas. He wanted that family, that white picket fence family. He thought that he only could get it from a white family, but only to find out later, now I have an aunt that can give me the life that I always wanted. However, I'm not all the way together. I'm still struggling. The enemy is still attacking me.
Correct.
And I thought that I could go to a ministry if I, give my life to Christ.
Right.
However, it didn't get better. It got worse, he said.
Correct.
Fast forward it, now he ends up doing a robbery, going to prison for 9 years.
Yes.
Found Christ. That's number one.
Correct.
And break it on down again. All the things you came home with.
GED, college, CDL, numerous of trades, and finding myself number one. And so when I went to prison, it's not that I found Christ. We reconciled. I came back. Because they say when you backslide, you can always slide back.
There you go.
So I knew. The funny thing about it is I was so tired of robbing people, man. I was tired. I remember the last time I did it, the same grandma that I was telling you about, and I'm gonna make it fast as possible. She calls me. She never even talked about God, but she calls me. She says, "Hey, I had a dream that you're doing something, and I don't know what you're doing, but I want to tell you that you need to stop." At the time that she's telling me this, I'm like, I know I'm robbing. I'm robbing every grocery store I can name. So I'm just like, Mom, I'm not doing nothing. She was like, I'm telling you, I feel it. Like, you need to stop. Get off the phone with Grandma. Grandma dies 4 days later. So I'm thinking, okay, man, Grandma's really, God has told her that. So now I'm trying to remember, I know God now, but the people that I'm around don't know that I know God. So I'm acting crazy, I ain't mentioning God. I'm like Peter, I'm denying right now. So I end up hooking up with this guy that robs stores everywhere, and we went on a robbery spree. And one day I just told God I'm tired. Like, it's getting to the point now, I'm throwing these people to the ground. And I said, God, if you really want me, you're going to have to come get me. That's what I told him. And the next day I went to jail. The very next day.
Wow.
The very next day. Out of all the times I've ever robbed, I never went in the store without a mask. I went in the store without a mask, hoping that they can identify me. I was dead tired.
You was tired.
I was tired.
Well, you know what? We're going to bring you back for a part two, because we're going to stop it right there. We're going to bring you back for a part two. You use that same link. You have to come back and finish this story. Jesus. Whew, God. I done got hot again. Y'all don't understand. If you're just tuning in, please do go back and watch the first part of this broadcast, because we have Wayne Collins here that has been very, very, very transparent. He didn't hide anything. He put everything on the table. And to sit here to talk about all that trauma that he had experienced and to sit here before you with a smile on his face, let me tell you something, there's nobody but God.
Nobody.
We're definitely going to bring Wayne back, but Wayne, I do not like leaving without offering my guests to offer some words of encouragement. If you had someone that was under the sound of your voice, just shoot them some words of encouragement really quick.
Man, I just want to tell everyone that if God can do it for me, he can do it for anybody. The Bible says that God is no respecter of person. And if God is in the changing business. You might have a dad, or you might have a husband, or even a baby daddy that you don't think can change. But you know what? Change can happen, but you have to let it be through God and not through you. Because sometimes we give up when we think people are not changing because that's what we want. But I want to let you know, man, continue to trust God, continue to follow God, continue to believe in God, and know that God is still moving. And I appreciate every ear that heard what I said. I pray that it could open your heart and mind to things. And I just want to let you know that a part 2 coming. It's a whole nother part. But God is good.
Yes, he is. And
Yeah.
all the time, God is good. Let
Yes,
me
he
tell
is.
you.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
That was
So,
some
so
awesome.
I talked about the mud because I'm gonna take you to the miracle one. We did the mud first. We're going to the miracle part for the part 2. Everything that happened.
It had to happen.
He turned it around.
Let me hear you say it. It had to happen.
It had to happen. It had to happen. It will continue to happen.
Come on, Wayne.
Yeah.
Come on. My God. Confirmation. Yes. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't even understand. Like, I'm just sitting here in awe of God because the way he orchestrates some things. Her and I was talking on the phone earlier, and oh my, listen, we're getting ready to jump back on the phone. But for part 2, guys, you do have to come back. Again, if you missed the first part of this broadcast, it was the what? The mud?
Yeah, from the mud to the miracle.
From the mud to the miracle. So that will be the next, that will be part 2.
Yeah.
Of the so it will not be against all odds. So please pay attention, guys. You heard it here, from the mud to the miracle.
Yeah.
Part 2 with Mr. Wayne Collins. Wayne, thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate you coming on. God bless you. I appreciate you coming on. I can't wait for you to come back for a miracle. From the mud to the miracle.
Yes.
And please do know that share this broadcast, guys, if this has truly, truly blessed you, because I'm telling you, it kind of threw me for a loop, but this is what's happening in real life, y'all.
It is.
This is some real life situations. And like he said in the earlier part of the broadcast, that there's a lot of secrets in families.
It is.
Hear me. But guys, I'm telling you one thing, get to know God, because you're going to need him at all times now. With so much is happening around us, we pray for the families in Florida, on the West Coast. I'm telling you, it's so sad right now. It's just so sad. So we're praying for everyone that's in track of that storm. I don't want to leave anybody out. We're praying for everybody that's in track of that storm. But guys, please do lay around for part 2, from the mud to the miracle.
Yes.
We thank you guys for tuning in here with us on It Had to Happen Tonight for Against All Odds. And I'm going to tell y'all something, how God do things. Listen, we were talking in the green room, and y'all see his topic is against all odds, right? So I went on and I tried, when I was posting your flyer, I went on to get the Tupac song, but it had too much cursing in it, so I didn't want to offend anybody. I said, okay, I can't put this on. But this young man, come on, and we were talking in the green room. Ask him what he said. Just tell him what you said.
Tupac was my favorite artist. I said that I'm the new pop.
Oh my my God, let me tell you something. I just could brag on God all day or all night. I'm telling you.
I'm trying to
So,
tell you.
Wayne, I look forward for you coming back. You can use the
Also,
same link, the YouTube link that I sent you, and you
yes.
can share it with the masses. You can share it with the people and have
Okay.
them watch it. So, guys, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do. It's
Please.
free. Okay. Hit
Please.
the subscribe button as well as the
It
notification
don't
button.
cost nothing to subscribe. It don't
Say
cost
it.
nothing.
Tell them, Wayne.
Don't cost nothing. Yeah.
Hey.
We trying to make these messages gotta bring miracles.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
hit the notification button too, because it lets you guys know every time we go live here at It Had to Happen. And guess what? You could go over to my website if you want to be a guest like Wayne at www.authorericawilson@h2h.com. Make sure you book on a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday. Wednesdays, we have our prayer broadcast. Wayne, you should tap in. You should tune in. I'm going to send you the link when we doing our next one, because we have a very, oh my God, we're doing a topic that's out of the world. And spiritual surveillance.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wednesday at 6 p.m., guys. However, again, thank you all. Wayne, let's send them out with some virtual hugs. Oh my gosh. And some virtual love. Look at my hearts, Wayne. I'm going to give you some hearts. Hold up.
Hey, where mine's at?
And shouts out to the queen, because that's what we didn't say. Wayne have a beautiful wife, and he's a father of 5 and a grandfather of 2. But you'll find out from the mud
To the miracle.
on the next show. God bless each and every one of you. Until next time, guys. Tell them bye, Wayne. Bye-bye.
Bye.